it's Melanie, and I'm back with
Maria Kay,
and we are going to go over some of the explanation for the spirit board at the Haunted Picnic area. I say the explanation, but there's not really one tried and true explanation for this spirit board session.
First of all, we had a crowd of people, well, an equivalent of crowd in such situations.
Yep.
We had 7, which is a good number, but at the same time it means we were all skewing it a little.
Yeah, even though there weren't 7 of us on the board, there were people who weren't, I say playing the board for lack of a better phrase, but who were still saying things and calling out questions, and spirits might have been reacting to them instead of actually reacting with the board. There was more than one spirit there, but I think there was definitely somewhat of a trickster, and I don't know if it was the trickster that followed me from the apartment or if there was another ghost there that was a bit tricksy, because we were noticing as we were going over the questions and the video footage that we actually at one point got a straight answer. And it was when we were talking about, I think it was Susan who asked, are you a soldier?
Yeah.
And it said, right. And then we asked, were you buried here in the last century or last 2 centuries? And it said, right.
Right. And so now, based on what we know about the history, it's really hard to pinpoint the time, the era, especially in this area, because we have at least 2 major effects of historic effects on this area. One was there was a Battle of Asheville in the Civil War. Lots of people died, and we were in that area of the Western North Carolina when we were conducting the session. The other one was the events specifically tied to the picnic area that you talked about in the intro, which is it was very popular during the Prohibition era for dumping bodies. So there is absolutely no way to tell what is really psychically affecting the area more. Is it the big, horrible, multiple casualties event like the Civil War, or a very specific that point in space and time Prohibition era corpses dumping operation?
And I to throw in a third element.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There was or according to Marnie, there is a Cherokee burial ground somewhere near where we were. Now I don't know exactly where that's located or if it has a name. So please don't go try to find it and don't harass the area. We're gonna link the Asheville Battle in the description box below, so you can go and read about that some more and get some more insights on it. But I don't know. I think the trickster was there because after we got those 2 very straight answers of right and right, we just went off on a different line of questioning for some reason. And I'm watching the video and the playback, and I'm like, why did we do that?
Yeah, well, and we were distractible at that point because we've done the devices session, we've done another devices session, we've done a bunch of recording, then we finally got around to the board. It was dark, we were all tired.
Yes.
We were being gnawed on incessantly by blood-sucking insects.
Which is not good.
It's very hard to maintain your conversation with the people who are no longer alive when you're trying to keep one hand on because the rule is you have to keep one hand on the board at all times. So it was easy to derail us at that point. And so that's why we went, oh, shiny object, and that sort of fell apart, that line of questioning.
So we're not going to go over all of the questions. Just that we noticed those 3 events seem to somewhat be connected. The Cherokee being nearby, the battle being nearby, and Prohibition bodies being dumped right there. We also know about the woman who was a later case where her body was found at that site as well. But we are going to put all of the questions and answers at the end of the video, or you can go back and watch the
Right.
actual spirit board session. I'll link that in the description box below. I'll link all of the episodes so that you can go back and watch from the very beginning. But I think two more things that we really wanted to mention is we kept getting Aries.
Right.
And it was weird because there were 7 of us and we got the answer Aries 7 times. So Aries and the number 7 kept popping up.
Yep. So Aries is a warrior sign. So that goes back, I was wondering if that goes back to our soldier. You know, it is a feisty fire sign. And a couple other things we kept popping up. The plants that kept popping up in the conversation were all plants associated with signs that drift toward fire. So
And
another
protection.
thing, protection and enlightenment. So that kept kind of being the theme and the answers that we did get for them. But again, it's hard for us to distinguish. Another thing that we kept struggling with is that possibly because we have so many overlapping events associated with the site, we had like a crowd of these not very happy spirits trying to talk over one another.
Yeah.
It was like British Parliament on a bad day.
Yeah.
So it's hard to figure out, you know, did someone finally push through to the front of the crowd? And that was our Aries.
Yes.
Did the trickster get in there and started messing up with everybody and shoving everybody off? Did we make somebody angry? So that was a problem because they were once they got going, they got very, very active. We had all the devices going off like a bunch of Christmas trees.
Yes. I noticed the REM pod going off a lot when I was doing the rewatch. Maybe even more than we noticed it. Or I personally noticed it but somebody usually like look and then we'd all go
Right.
like, ah!
Yeah, no, we were kind of zeroed in on the board. We were trying to keep kind of the focus on that and at the same time trying to make sense of the answers.
Yeah.
Which I think, you know, lessons learned, when you have so much going on, just record. Just ask and record. We can talk about it later.
Yes.
And you were yammering, I was yammering, everybody else was yammering, and I think that was derailing things too.
But not only with the board, I think we need to and I think we're getting better with our investigations with the EVPs and the ghost box.
Yes, the ghost box is awesome.
People get so excited that they tend to talk, and then I know that I hear something but I can't make it out because everybody's like in my ear. And so if you watch that session, I think that's the second session in the series, leave a comment if you hear something that we don't
We didn't hear. Right.
Sometimes it comes across as one thing in person, and then later when you listen to it, you're like, why did I say that sounded like...
And remember, we also had 2 ghost apps going at the same time. So I think we had correct me if I'm wrong, based on what I've watched of your other videos, we have just about the highest concentration of various detection devices. Yeah. And every time somebody detected something, we immediately got distracted by that.
Yes.
The funny one was about dinner. Do you remember?
Yes.
We brought... talked
The guys
about
are
being hungry, and they said dinner, and we all started feeling very uncomfortable. We didn't want to be dinner, so that was kind of a fun, scary moment.
And I think we talked about the mosquitoes at that point because we're like trying to make sense of it in a non-scary. We don't want to be eaten by ghost way,
which is like totally doesn't make any sense. They can't eat live people, you know. They can't do that. But it was kind of hilarious, but other things kept popping up. We have names. We have many names.
We did. We had so many, especially. But the weird thing is I have the same ghost app as Susan, and I hardly got anything.
Right.
And I guess they just like Susan.
Maybe. Well, Troy was getting his was talky.
Yeah, Joyce was talking too.
And interestingly, Susan's was the one that was spewing names. His was the one that was spewing action words, like dinner.
Maybe we were just sitting on the wrong side of the table.
Maybe we were sitting on the wrong side of the table.
So anyway, like I said, I don't think there's any way to make sense. There were And later we found out, this is another thing that adds to this whole thing, is that it was like an international ghost hunting day. I had no idea that was a thing until, was it Todd? Todd said something after we had wrapped up the board.
Yeah.
And so that could have gotten the spirits riled up because so many people...
It's like everybody is like, for them it was probably like Halloween. For us, everybody knocking on their door and asking questions about that. It's like, really just leave me alone.
Yeah. So if you have any ideas, again, watch part 3 or go to the end of this video to go through the questions and answers that we got from the session. Please leave us a comment down below.
So Susan noticed this kind of weird little squiggly
picture here.
Yeah. Thing, and later sent it to all of us to see if we could make anything of it. And my first thought was, like I said, I still like yours better. My first thought was, Susan, that's a comment, because to me it looks like a kind of a star shape with a tail. And I popped over to look at celestial body cave paintings in this area and in Tennessee, since we were so close to the Tennessee caves there. And so there's a lot, and it's a similar image. The way these images almost always appear in the cave paintings in this area is they're squiggly. So it's almost like they were trying to symbolize movement, fast movement, how it would be squiggling, kind of flickering through flying through the air. And we do have quite a meteorite history in this area. Asheville, weird. Doesn't surprise me at all.
No.
Stuff falls out of the sky, happens all the time. One of the biggest meteorites to be actually captured is in a museum, fell here in this area. So could be just somebody noticed something falling. So yours was somebody crawling.
Yeah, for me, it looked like a head, and then like somebody's leaned over with their arms like this, and then the body and the legs behind, like almost a 3D. Like someone's crawling out of the tree. So, my brain just goes to creepy places sometimes. Hers is probably more accurate and much more significant.
But if you have seen something like that, or something similar, and it makes more sense to you, let us know. It definitely didn't look like just a natural formation in a tree bark.
No.
It looked like somebody scraped it or maybe singed it with something hot. Not sure. But it was definitely not a natural image.
Yeah.
Session.
And then after that we decompressed and we ate zombie Skittles. So
which is so fun. You should totally watch the zombie Skittles one.
I'll link that one down below.
Yeah, link that one in, because that was so much fun, and we were all tired and severely bitten by mosquitoes by that point, so it was great.
A little bit of sugar rush after that.
Yeah, eat some disgusting Skittles. They're not all disgusting, but some of them tasted like zombies. I totally agree with it.
I get a rotten orange one.
That was good times. It's fun.
So, don't forget to look Maria up on YouTube. She's got a gaming channel that just started. I'm going to link that. There's going to be a lot of information. Go down there, read it all, because there are going to be links to other videos, because there are going to be links to Maria. There's going to be a link to my email. So if you have a story for story time, please email me. Or if you have any questions about the paranormal, I can see what I can do to help. Can't guarantee any answers, but I can try. If you want to remain anonymous, let me know. If you want to ask or tell a story and don't want it on video, let me know when you write me. Just be like, don't put this on video. I just want to ask a question. All of my social media will be at the end of this video. And thank you so much for sticking around for all of the haunted picnic area. It is a very spooky place. So if you like that sort of thing, I would highly recommend going.
Yeah. Go pack a little tent, pack a little light, maybe bring some Edgar Allan Poe with you to read. It's good time.
Yeah, you can camp there.
You can camp.
It's
There's
not just picnics.
Legitimate camping ground there. There were actually some campers there when we were there. So yeah, you can...
I still wonder, as we were leaving, like we all felt like someone was watching us. And we never figured out if it was like we had bothered the spirits enough to stare us down as we were leaving, or if like those campers,
maybe they just thought that, oh my God, who are these crazy people?
Right. Like that was one of my thoughts. Like, but we don't know who those people are either. Yeah. So I mean, they could be axe murderers for all we know. Anyway, we will see you next time.
Bye.